guys, I didn't even have to like coax that out of you. You guys are on it tonight. Happy Friday. So I've already introduced myself. I'm A the Poet. Welcome to Poetry and Me Live. My heart feels so full. We are sold out. Make some noise for yourselves. Thank you for coming. So if this is your first time here, let me give you a little bit of backstory. What is Poetry and Me Live? What are we all about? So I'm A the Poet. I started Poetry and Me Live in 2020 when all great things happened. And I started online, all in the guise of understanding other poets and writers from all around the world, trying to find out what brought you to poetry, and also to provide a platform for them to perform, right? Because I feel like the more you ingest poetry, the more you feel inspired and the more you get that like itch to write. Because I feel like when sometimes you're sat in the audience, you don't identify as a poet, but no poet looks the same, right? And that's the thing that I really want to spread. Everybody can be a poet. It doesn't mean you have to perform, there's no pressure, but it would be amazing if you did end up performing your work, right? But also in a guise of like to get through life. Life can be tough, and I think poetry is that beautiful tool that can help you get through the tough times, but also celebrate the beautiful times. Okay, so that's Poetry and Me Live. So tonight we have two phenomenal poets. We have Becksy Becks. Make some noise for Becksy Becks. And also have Crystal. Make some noise for Crystal. Amazing. So if this is your first time at a poetry event or at Poetry and Me Live, just a little, this is a safe space. I know a lot of people say these words, and it technically isn't, but I would like to say it is. And if this is your second time, for those that have been around before, is this a safe space, please?
Yes.
Thank you. So if this is your first time, you're now in a safe space. So if you hear one of the poets, one of the open micers, one of the headliners, like say a line that you like, you can click. Can I have some clicks? Amazing. And if they say a line and you're like, oh, that was a line, you can go, can I get some nice. And if you want to hear that bar again, you can just be like, say it again. Say it again. I need y'all to say it again.
Say it again.
Period. I love that. Okay, so we're gonna go straight into it because I really want to get as many open micers on the stage today. And I think we may have a few first timers. So it's like you guys, you have like a responsibility to make people feel welcome. So like I need you to they're gonna bring their energy, you bring your energy. It's like a transaction. It's a transaction. Amazing. Okay, so let's bring up our first headliner. And just to start off with, for me, her performing like is so phenomenal. As in, it's as if you're watching a show, as in the conversational work, the improv work is just chef's kiss. You feel like it's actually just you and her in the room, which is what I really love. So she's actually driven by 3 pillars of life, which is laughter, love, and literature. Her writing explores a variety of personal life experiences, which she delivers in a relaxed, relatable, conversational style. See, I wasn't lying. Often exploring the dichotomy between humor and tragedy. So please, can we welcome to the stage Becksy Becks? Okay. Do you wanna?
I'm a professional.
Oh, she's got this.
This is not her first rodeo.
I lied.
Oh, for the audience. Yeah. Guys, just click in it.
Very good looking crowd. Yeah. Do you guys feel as good as you look?
Yeah.
If you're sexy and you know it, clap your hands. Okay, so y'all feel good. Okay. So yeah, my name is Becksy Becks. I'm going to go straight into some words for you. I think I've got 2 poems. And I feel like, has How has your week been? Have you guys had a good week? Yeah. A really good week? Oh, that's good. So I apologize in advance because these poems are depressing. Bring you right down. That was an exaggeration. So I have been to therapy, so I'm looking at things a bit more positively now. And I think I started therapy 4 years after probably the worst breakup I've ever been through. Clicks for the heartbroken people in the room. So I started therapy 4 years after that. For the first 4 years, I was self-healing. I was doing all the things that I wouldn't normally do. I was going to the gym, eating healthy. But one thing that really helped me was like being in Mother Nature. She really helped me to kind of tune in and come back to myself. And it was only when I started going to therapy, I realized during that time I was doing one thing that I couldn't really ignore. I was taking on traits of the person that I hated and doing all of the things that they used to do to me. And I started to think after that, I was like, I wonder if Mother Nature viewed me as the fuckboy that first night that we met. Like, I wonder if she knows that I would only show up to offset all of my spiritual debts into her soil, into her soul, so that I can dissolve all of those things that I wasn't ready to process yet. And I wonder if she suspects when I would take illicit pics of her naked moon late at night whilst her eyes were closed and her back was turned so her craters were exposed. I wonder if she knows that I was creepily in my camera roll just trying to capture a glimpse so that later I can go home and scroll for some superficial aesthetic pic to post to my closest friends. Probably accompanied by some lame hashtag trend like she's a 10. But at night, her starry-eyed judgment gets a little bit too cloudy. She's a 10, but when we fight, her storms got a little bit too rowdy. Matter of fact, when we fight, she does this thing where she loves to weaponize the silent treatment. Like the other day I walked by her sea just to see her. Can you believe her tide couldn't even come in to say hi? She barely waved. Say it again. She's a 10, but she's a 10. She's a 10, but when we fight, she loves to weaponize the silent treatment. Because the other day, I walked by her sea to see her, and can you believe her tide couldn't even come in to say hi? She barely waved. And I wonder if her mood is phased when I don't call before I come over. I rarely text before the sun is over. And when I do show up, I'm never sober every time I take that midnight trek along her favorite path. I don't even ask consent for her leaves to part. I just dive right through her bushy grooves, crawling through holes where a previous fuckboy left a depression-shaped hole in the side of her fence, leaving her defenseless. And I wonder if she's content. I wonder if she's content knowing that I don't like to be seen with her in public. Does she believe me when I whisper sweet nothings? I'm like, babes, I prefer my poetry unpublished. Because I don't know about you, but for me, I have this secret place next to my secret tree where I discreetly secrete all of my insecurities into her leaves and excrete fistfuls of CO2 that is laced in violence that she can breathe in exchange for diamonds, and I'm the only one that gets a crystal-like clarity. And when I say that out loud, I'm surprised that she's still not mad at me. Because rightly so. Because she should be mad at me because I take her for granted. I took credit for everything that her plants did and implanted it into my inflated ego to believe that I convinced myself with memes that it was me and myself that brought myself out of the gutter, when really and truly it was her and I. And without her, I kind of write with a stutter. Without her writing writing feels like quills on a chalkboard. It feels like how pine cones look. It looks like, you know how we get those creases in the spine of a well-read book. Instead those creases, they sit in the corner of my eyes, because it feels like I've read my thoughts more times than the Red Sea has committed murder. I've tasted more muted pain than any of my intrusive thoughts could ever nurture. It's kind of like these phantom limbs reach further into my soul and use me like Sims. Instead, I can't control who they call. Heavy is the ego that comes before the fall. So, if any of you guys have someone that helps you to get over something, to see you through like a friend, a stranger that you call, don't forget to thank them, because they're doing a lot. And I'm going to finish this poem. It's an ode to Mother Nature. I'm going to finish it with kind of like the best lesson that she's ever taught me. She said, in the matters of getting over someone, the best way to get over someone is to get under one. A tree, not your ex. And that was my first poem, Becksy Becks. Thank you very much. One time.
Oh my god. Yes.
So yeah, that was my face. I'm healed now. If you're healed and you know it, clap your hands. It should have been way louder than it is. Broken people in this room.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get there. It's a journey. I would say this is your first step to healing, coming to a Poetry Me Live. Sorry.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it took a lot of healing to get to this point. I don't know if you guys are familiar with depression. Woo, yeah.
She's a nice lady.
See, that's the energy we need. So yeah, it took a lot for me to get there. And I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but the one thing about depression for me, it's like, it's so oxymoronic. It's like, when you're in that moment, they say the best way to get over it, completely valid advice, is to talk to someone. On stage. A friend, a neighbor, a stranger. But the ironic thing about it is, when you're in that moment, the last thing you want to do is talk. So what helps you isn't helpful. And I know for me, so when it first started, I was just a little bit sad. So I pushed it down and I stepped on it. But then soon after that, a little bit sad turned into a little bit mad. So I pushed that down and I stepped on that. But yet still after that, all these feelings, they just kept piling up inside me like mountains. So I continued to step and to climb their rocky edges to mask the pain. So now several steps later, I'm stood at 50,000 feet, and all I want to do is jump. See, I scaled these rocky edges to mask the pain. Stood at 50,000 feet, I'm looking in on my life and my speech is paralyzed on this sleepless storm. These negative spaces, they held me by my palms, carrying me along cliffs, lifting my insecurities above sea level, making a freckle of my self-worth, but my cells are off this earth, so I'm hoping once my body hits this ground, maybe it won't even hurt. Like, instead, it will just all simply reconnect and disperse. So I scaled these rocky edges to mask the pain. And now I'm stood side by side with suicide. Suspended, soaring on embankments that allow me to say everything I need without having to say anything at all, and bleed everything I need without the physical pain of having to relive it all. Because before I thought if no one could really hear me, then did I even really fall? But now I wish I would have danced my notes across this monotone wave that this wind has curated from your essence, and I wish my key notes would speak a music into my speech, into my spoken word in this world where actions speak louder than words. Instead, these can I swear?
Absolutely.
These fucking negative spaces held me by my palms as we shook the hands of shadows. And I watched the noon as it dialed into my thoughts, calling me in to this beautiful darkness. It was like, imagine sunsets with broken moons, because it spoke with such a violent calmness as it handed me these tools, and now my speech, it lingers in cylinders. And it teeters on this 9mm that's now covered in gunpowder residue, a silence that's smothered by the 30% industry rises in gunpowder revenue, and I can smell it as it simmers on my fingers. Because see, now the pitch of my voice is held in the choice of my aim. So maybe this is the only way that you would hear me stood on cliffs this high. I bet the forever sound of my cry will echo in every gunshot round I apply. So I scale these rocky edges to master pain, reciting poems that allow me to say everything I need without having to say anything at all. Because the more that I breathe life into these lines and attempt to line up my life in one breath, it grants me just enough space to tame this anger in the name of projection. I should have let my keynote speak and music into my speech, into my spoken word in this world where actions speak louder than words. Instead, these negative spaces, they sit and they click on the stutters that drip from this lip. My silenced tongue, it has slipped and it's tripped on its own spit. And now every horrible word that I ever took from your lips, they're lying heavy on my lids, paying levy to a feeling that I'm afraid can now never be undid. Which is, again, ironic because you never really saw me until I closed my eyes. Becksy Becks. That's what she said.
Oh my God. Do you know what I really love is that you never know when a poem begins or ends, which is quite poetic in itself. Because it's, when do you know when a story begins or ends?
Exactly. Like life is poetic.
Exactly.
So we're all in one big poem right now.
Right now. And we're all the authors. We're contributing together. Wow. Well, please. So there, what were there? What was that? Was one or what? That was two?
That was two.
That was two.
That was two.
And they're called?
So the first one was called Rebound, I guess. And the second one was called Silence.
Beautiful. Please, one more time. I feel like you have a way with words, but in a way that you can shape vulnerability into such art, and it's so vividly clear what the picture you're painting, and it would be so interesting to see like what your process is to kind of get that on the page, because it's very visual. So has it always been that way for you, like writing wise?
So I would say step one, trauma. Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like for me, it has always been that way because even though I'm a poet and I'm on stage, I'm quiet as hell. I feel like I'm a very sociable person. I just don't like people. And like I kind of grew up with, like, when we moved to the UK, I had like selective mutism. Okay. That thing. So kind of like the culture shock. It was like I want to speak. I have so much to say, but I don't trust y'all. Where am I? So poetry became a way to speak to myself and align my thoughts and say things without having to say things. Yeah.
Well, you've come a long way from selective to on the stage. Congrats! For real, because that's really beautiful. And I think to even, never mind just speaking on a stage, to then being so open and vulnerable on a stage takes a lot of, and has it always been that case, like with your writing? Maybe let's go back in time to the beginning of your writing journey. What did it look like in that sense? Performing, was it always like vulnerable poems?
I'm not gonna lie. Poetry happened by accident. I love you guys. Like, I do this for you. But like, honestly, writing was just a thing for me personally. And I never did poetry to do poems. I started off doing like short stories and novels. And then a friend of mine, she had an open mic night in Birmingham.
Do we have Midlands?
Anyone from outside the M25? Yeah, we'll take it. So yeah, she had an open mic night in Birmingham, and all of her people like couldn't come or couldn't make it, and they started dropping out. And she's like, "Oh my god, I don't know how to fill the slots." And I was like, "Well, I have a short story I can make. I do poetry." She's like, "Do you?" I'm like, "I guess."
Yeah.
For a friend. So I did it, and I was like, "Wait, people like this? Wait, they pay me for this?
Yes.
Let's go." So that's where I kind of spitballed. Yeah.
Nice. And what came next? Because we know you're a flow poet. It would also be great to know what a flow poet is for those that don't know all about poetry. Yeah.
So our mentor, Flow Assist, do you guys? Everything you gotta do is say yes.
Don't you know, let me undress you, baby. That's on my playlist.
Yeah, so she has a collective of poets called the Flow Poets because she is the Flow Assist. And I think being a flow poet is just essentially is a space where words can flow and you can get into that state of it's not primarily for poetry, it's for an understanding of how important the word is. Like she always says, in the beginning there was the word, and steel sharpens steel. So it just kind of brings those together, and the Flow Poet Collective is literally just a group of people that enjoy words and want to express themselves and need a space.
Nice, and there's a space for them.
Exactly.
Amazing. And I presume you'd recommend the event.
1000%.
So good. So good. You describe yourself as, hold on, poet by, oh my god, I wrote it down. I apologize. Poet on purpose. Take us through that. What does that mean?
So poet on purpose because it is my purpose to kind of express myself and to live in my truth. But poet on purpose because when I tell people I'm a poet, they're like, what? On purpose? Like you chose that? So yeah, that's where that stems from.
Amazing. And I think there's an undercurrent in some of your poems. For example, the B word. And there's a line, let me get the line that really resonated with me.
So prepared, I like
I
was like, how do you remember that poem? This
line isn't from the B word, but the line is from not lift. The line is, the only thing men and women have in common is that we're all unique. And the undercurrent that I found for myself when I was listening to that one and the B word is self-love and self-discovery. I think maybe somebody in the crowd is kind of on that journey of kind of coming out of a breakup maybe, and is like, who am I without this person? How do I get over it? If you would want them to leave with something, what would you pass on to them?
Are we talking specifically getting over people? Because I have so many gems.
Share the gems.
All my life I had to fight. I don't know. I feel like the healing journey never ends. We're always constantly healing. So there's not one specific thing that I can say that will encompass all of that, because there's loads of different steps. But I would say always ask yourself why. I don't know if you guys know about the 7 whys.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I don't know it.
Okay, awesome. So it starts off with I'm going to ask you a question. So you do poetry, yes. Why do you do poetry?
To get my emotions on a page, get them out of my head and out.
And why do you need to get your emotions on a page?
It can get very overwhelming in my brain.
And why does it get overwhelming in your brain?
It's like having 60 conversations all at once. Sensory overload.
And why do you think you hear so many conversations at the same time? Why can't you pick one?
That might be neurospicy.
And there we go. So you ask yourself why 7 times, you get to the root of the problem. So it started with why do you do poetry? Because I'm neurospicy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh! You know when you're the interviewer and you've just been interviewed. Oh, beautiful. I feel like that's definitely something we can all leave with. 7 questions.
Yeah.
7 questions of why. 7 whys.
So my advice would be always ask yourself why. Like, you know, a child's like, but why?
There's
It helps
beauty
you to
in
get
that.
to the root of the problem.
And did you just come across that? Was that therapy?
I'm still asking why.
Yeah.
I'm on like number 3,000,000 and something.
And I love that. I love it. So you've been performing for how many years now? When was Birmingham?
So I moved to London 2018.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just before
Pandemic.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually kick off my poetry journey until about 2018. Yeah.
And since 2018 to now, 2025, what would you say your favorite performance to date would be? And why?
Do I still get paid if I don't say this one?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That invoice is not being clear. Of course it will, please.
I don't think I have like a favorite performance. Again, like I live in such a oxymoronic life. It's like I'm a poet, but I have a fear of being seen. So I tend not to be on stage. Probably why my Instagram is like 99% reels and no poetry. So I feel like
They're funny though. Please
Thank
keep
you.
doing them. I laugh.
So I feel like my favorite performance wouldn't be a stage performance. It would be, so there was an anthology. You know George the Poet?
Oh.
Yeah. So he did an anthology, and I wrote a piece for that. I think that was my favorite piece of all time.
What was the piece? It was about congratulations, please. Congratulations. What was it?
So it was, the book is about Black history.
Okay.
So I wrote a piece about a Black lady in Tudor times from her perspective.
Very nice. We'll definitely go and check it out. It's of course, it's probably available.
Yes.
Yes, we'll definitely. I'll put it up on my stories. Follow us on @thepoet_ on Instagram. What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is @bedroompoetry_.
And why is it bedroom? Do you see what I did there? And why is it bedroom poetry?
That's why they pay her the big bucks. It's called bedroom poetry. I don't do erotic poetry. Apologies. Damn it. I feel like, again, going back to like selective mutism, the bedroom space is a space where you can actually feel the most comfortable and where you figuratively.
English is not my first language, so
that's the support I need. Figuratively and literally get naked. So the bedroom is where I feel most comfortable. So hence bedroom poetry.
nice. Beautiful, beautiful. And there is one question that I like to ask at the end of each Poetry and Me interview. If you could spend 24 hours with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
All 24 hours.
24 hours.
Maybe I'm an introvert.
So where do you feel? Who do you feel safe with? Do you know?
24 hours with one person.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. I'd have to say my father.
Beautiful.
100%. He was like a very big staple in my life growing up, and he's on the other side. So I feel like there's a lot of questions that I wanted to ask, I should have asked, and I couldn't ask.
Yeah.
So 24 hours. Maybe need 48, but I'll take it.
You know what? I'll grant, since I've got these powers, I'll grant that extension.
So good to me.
I try. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being so vulnerable. Not just today, in general, on the stage, because I feel like you have such a beautiful gift. And since you've shared with us today that this is your purpose, thank you for living in your purpose, and it's beautiful. I think one thing to take away from it is, for you guys, is the beauty of living in your purpose. I think it's really nice, and for sure.
That's my next poem.
You're welcome. You're welcome. One thing I love to do, and I think is so important, is to give people their flowers whilst they're still here to smell them. We absolutely appreciate your artistry, honestly, your performances. I love them, genuinely, I really do. And whenever I get the chance to see you live, I will always buy a ticket, because that conversation, you just don't know when the poem starts or when it ends. And I really like that you keep us on our toes. It's great. So please, one time, you're always welcome back, by the way. If you just want to...
I will never leave.
Oh, please, thank you. Always welcome. One time, please, for Becksy Becks.